have a layout for you for the Everyday Inspiration series, as well as this is day 15 of the month-long Off the Board series that a whole bunch of us are doing. So I showed you two different inspiration pieces. The first one is a picture of what Dolly has for her background. Dolly is in our group for the Everyday Inspiration series. There's Christy, Crystal, Daisy, Dolly, Lisa, and myself that all play along. And so Dolly shared her phone background. Oh my goodness, I'm stumbling over my words. Sorry. Her phone background, kind of her like summer phone background, with that cool rainbow effect on it, which you can obviously see is where I'm headed with this inspiration. And then I went ahead into my Pinterest board and tried to find something that I could kind of work into it for the off the board portion of the layout. So I've got this idea to do some fun kind of mixed media, just blending of the colors to create my rainbow that goes right back to Dolly's original picture. And then I'm going to use the idea of that stained glass to create kind of a stained glass effect over top of my rainbow here. So I wasn't sure at first. You can see I started off, I think I was thinking of doing sort of like little pie-shaped sections of color, but then I realized I just want to fill the whole page. So the orange and the yellow kind of, I let it spread out a little bit. And so now I'm just sort of filling in all of those gaps. This is where you kind of have an idea, but you also don't really have an idea. And so partly I knew I was going with rainbow and I kind of have this idea to put something over top of it. But other than that, I'm sort of winging it. So here is the winging it portion of the layout. So once I get all these colors down, I did go ahead with my silhouette and cut out a few different backgrounds. Or I guess in this case, they're going to go over top, but just a few different options kind of based on how the mixed media turned out. It actually turns out really pretty. I love how bold and intense all of these colors are. That is my Jane Davenport color palette kind of mixed with a few Prima colors. And the paper that I'm using, the white cardstock, is actually just the $6.97 Walmart white cardstock. Like, I can't believe how good it actually works for this. I'm not being stingy with the water. I'm not letting it pool too much, but I'm definitely using enough water that everything kind of blends. So I'm pretty impressed with how well it stood up to the wet and to all of the water and color. And you can see how beautiful these colors blend. I'm not helping them too much. I'm just kind of letting them pool together wherever they meet, and they just kind of blend on their own. So once I had everything done, I kind of have all of the main colors down. I let it dry for just a second and then I'm splattering. So I'm not going to splatter each individual color, but just a couple of the colors kind of within each section, more on the dark side so that they actually show up over top of all of the colors. And the paper is just wet enough that as they touch the paper, they spread a little bit, but they also stay a little dark. So it kind of just has this mottled fun effect in the background. So here you can see a couple of the options that I had cut out. And I really do love that heart, but I end up going for this one. I love this. It came from, let's see, where did this one come from? I think this one is from Paper Issues. It's one of their free cut files that you can get. And I just love how it looks over top of the watercolors. This would look really cool over top of sort of a tie-dye effect if you could do that with your watercolors and kind of do like a, summer kind of hippie tie-dye thing, because tie-dye is so trendy right now. But yeah, I just really love this, and it still has that stained glass effect to it with the black outline. You could also have done this in white, and I think it would have looked just as nice over top of these these colors because I definitely think that they're vibrant enough that they can carry the white if you wanted to do it that way. Or another fun thing would be to do your cardstock with the watercolor, stick it in between some books, or in my case, I stuck it back once it was completely dry. I stuck it back into the paper pad in kind of the center of the papers and smushed it down so that it really flattened out. And then you could actually run this through your die cut machine and cut this out with rainbow colors. That would also look really cool. But I just love that kind of black. So here is my sort of stained glass effect, which is the second picture that I showed you. I do have to admit, I did originally think I was going to go round because that's the picture that I chose. And Dolly has sort of that round kind of flower, sort of like chakra flower. What is it? A lotus, I think, that feel to it. And so I was thinking that that's what I would also do. But when I saw this background, I thought it was really cute. So that's what I'm going with, because look at my cute little guy that I'm scrapbooking here. And we love, love, love him. And also it was really easy to cut out, despite the fact that it looks super busy. All of the actual pieces are pretty large. So it didn't take very long to cut or to pull it off the mat and kind of clean it all up. So in order for him to kind of stick off of all of the busy background, I'm just going to use some of those little pieces that I cut off. I decided I sort of wanted this to sit on a black piece of cardstock and almost look like the mixed media was in the background of it. So it was almost framed instead of being on top of it. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. There you go. So I just think it makes it stand out that much more. But I needed my picture to stand out with all of that busyness. So I just took those trimmings and kind of used those to make a little mat around my photo. And basically I just kind of kept in mind what colors it was going to be closest to. So I kind of took all the orange bits and put them down in the bottom left-hand corner, and then took the more greenish bluish ones and put them up top so they were a little bit of a contrast and they weren't kind of sitting on top of the same color. I feel like I'm not speaking clearly, but hopefully I am and you understand what I'm saying. And then of course I put it down and realized that it would probably look good with a few more mats behind it. So I just peeled up that background and I'm going to go ahead and cut a chunk of black right here and give it a little bit of a black mat. And then I'm also going to go for a white mat as well. Get a little of that adhesive off the back. This is where sometimes planning things out works to your advantage, but most of the time that's not what I do. I just kind of go with the flow, and sometimes you got to peel things up, and that's okay. I think this would have looked really good too without the white, but I like the way the white helps to make the picture just a little bit more bright and clear, and it really makes sure that this is the focus when you're looking at the layout. So there you can see how it instantly just pops right up off that background. So I will stick that down. There's sort of a little section where all the colors meet, and that's where I stuck it. I didn't really have any rhyme or reason to where I wanted to put it, so I just kind of picked that spot, and then that makes all the colors almost point towards the center of the picture. So again, that helps to make it really stand out and be the focal point. And I didn't want to do too much embellishing. There's so many colors here, and I didn't want to lose the ability to read the word love and to see all of the hearts. So I decided what I would do is go through all of my Spiegel Mom Scraps sequins and see if I could find ones that would match a few of the colors. So I'm going to start with the purple here, and I'm just going to fill in a couple of hearts in sort of in each of the color families. So I've got the purple, and then here some red, and I'm trying to find some sequins that aren't all the same style. So those purple ones are teeny tiny kind of should we call them the traditional sequin? They're the sort of hexagon shape or octagon shape. These ones are flat, the red ones, and then these orange ones are actually shaped like little flowers. I think that package is called Rainbow Bright, so it actually has the entire rainbow of colors, but I'm only going to use the two, the orange and the red. For the yellow, I decided to go ahead and use my teeny tiny little gems that I got at Dollar Tree. No, sorry, it was Dollarama, probably 10 years ago. And every time I put together a little package of stuff to give away to somebody, I cut a section of them off because I never I never use them. But I don't want to just give them all away because I feel like the minute you do that, you're going to want to use them for something. But here I just pulled all the yellow ones out and they're so teeny tiny. They fit into that heart really nicely. And then I had some green sequins and some sort of light blue sequins. And then here I'm going to use those flat backed pearls that I got from BB Craft they're actually more of a silver color, but I think they pick up on the blue down in that bottom left-hand heart and just look really gorgeous. So once all of those were dry, I will add my title, which just says Follow the Rainbow. I got that from Christy, and I don't actually know who the manufacturer of those are, but they're kind of like that leatherette puffy sticker. They're very nice. I really like them. And then the last bit of embellishment is just a bunch of embroidery floss. I kind of picked all my warm colors and put them down at the bottom. And then I picked a bunch of cool colors right here you can see. And I'm going to put a little nest of them up at the top. And then I have a little on each side of the picture. So really basic, but I really just want all of that beautiful mixed media to shine. And so I didn't want to start taking stickers or big elements that were going to cover it all up. I wanted that to really be the focus. And then of course the super cute picture. And so just to hold those little nests in place, I've got some of the quick dry adhesive that I'm going to use. And whenever I make those, I like to actually pull the embroidery floss apart. So the bigger nests, if that's what you want to call them, they have 4 strands. And then the little 2 strands that I pulled off of each one is what I used beside the photo. So they don't feel quite as heavy. They don't stick out quite as much, but they still kind of give that fun texture. And then my last little touch here, I know I keep saying this is my last little touch, but I just remembered I added these really cute little hearts. They're kind of a sequins, but you get them in the section of Dollar Tree that has all the table scatter. So they're a bigger package, or these ones might have come from Dollarama, whichever place they came from. They're kind of a bigger package that are meant to use as decoration, I guess. So there's the outside heart and then there's the little inside section. So I just grabbed a few of those. They're kind of like a pearl or iridescent white. So they added just that little brightness of white. And I think that kind of, again, just gives a different texture. And the black and the white really helps to contrast all of the bright rainbow colors. And so here is a closer look. And I definitely thought that I was done at this point. And then I decided, no, I'm not done. I really like the white and the way that the table scatter kind of brought that brightness. So I went ahead and grabbed some acrylic paint and I watered it down and I just splattered a whole bunch of white all over. So some of it got on the sequins, some of it is on the black, some of it is in the mixed media, but I love how this turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please go and check out the ladies who are playing along today with Off the Board and also Everyday Inspiration. I love those scrappy ladies so much. And I will be back tomorrow with day 16. So until then, happy scrapping. Bye.